Hey YouTube, welcome to RV Daydream. What you doing? Well, what I'm doing is I just got done shooting a video for this motorhome of Mike and Cindy from Mike and Cindy's Travels. That video should already be up, as this one will be posted after that, obviously. But I want to talk about the weather a little bit, and I'm getting ready to actually mow up a little bit of leaves. We don't have, I mean, there are not a lot of leaves falling, but they are falling. And that's because we got some rain coming and some other stuff, so let's jump into it.
What have you been up to?
I've been riding on a daydream.
So here's the deal. The weather forecaster, the local weather forecaster, who's pretty good, you can see the leaves here, is talking about this is probably the last 70-degree day we're going to see until next spring. He said there might be a freaky day that shows up maybe one day in November or one day in December. I mean, we've had that in the past. So yeah, I'm in shorts for probably the last time for a while. Yeah, like I said, the leaves are starting to change. We have about 5 days of peak color before we see peak color, but they are definitely changing, and you know, they're looking pretty nice. You still got to get that branch that fell. And yeah, you've kind of seen the motorhome. Again, if you guys want to go check that out, I just talked about it. I think it's pretty cool. Heidi doesn't have any inkling of getting a motorhome though. We were going to go camping. We do have the ability to go camping in a couple days here, but the more we talked about it, we've got a lot of stuff to do, and that's kind of what I wanted to shoot a video on here real quick. Just a brief discussion. How many times do you hear me saying brief? Anything. So I'm talking about jockey briefs. So the fact that we really haven't moved too much on doing anything to downsize this year, it was a little bit depressing. I mean, as you know, I always get this time of year, I get kind of depressed about, you know, the season is over. We haven't covered up the RV yet. We still think we might be able to squeeze out, you know, an RV trip here shortly, maybe in a few weeks. But the whole idea of everything closing down, we start reflecting on, you know, what we should have been doing. You know, I think it's kind of, you know, nature for people to do that kind of stuff. I think that we should have been working more on the house and moving forward with trying to get to where we're full-time. Now, we've been talking about it for I don't know how many years now. In our initial plan, we thought that we might be about 9 years, and then a couple of years came off that right away. However, we're down to like the 2-year mark, and we only have basically about 5 months before, or maybe even 6 months at the most, that 2-year mark will be then the 1-year mark. And we started taking, you know, a survey of everything that we have going on in the house, and of course in this garage as I stand in front of it, and thought, boy, we're in no position. We're just in no position to be moving forward. I mean, this is a situation where if somebody came and just handed us a bunch of money, I still don't think that we would be in a position to go, because we've got so many loose ends that we have to tie up, you know, as far as the house is concerned and our affairs are concerned, for that matter. The thing that we did this year that was substantial, that we thought was a good idea, one of them was Heidi and I getting married. You know, we hadn't been married for quite some time, and that makes things easier as far as, you know, everything, you know, banking, power of attorney, stuff like that. It's not the same. You know, when it's two of us. Now we can operate together as a team even more than what we were. And the other thing was, of course, our grandson being born. That was something that we didn't have any real control over, but it changed our way that we do things. I mean, as soon as we knew that she was pregnant, we started shopping and kind of narrowing in on this RV whenever we purchased it. So we'll probably do a video that looks back at all the big stuff that happened to us, and you know, the significant changes that we made towards this RV stuff as far as going full-time. The other thing that we did was we went and got our passports. We were lacking on that. I'm glad that we got those under our belt, and we've started changing the way that we spend, which is very critical. Again, I think we'll probably talk about that on a separate video, but I just wanted to touch base on the stuff that we're looking at, you know, right off the bat. I did have to fight with the window of the truck. You guys remember that? Yeah, we'll talk about that some more because I still have more to do on that because, yeah, guys, it's still leaking. And it's definitely, I think, that window, unfortunately. It's like the never-ending window. But, yeah, I wanted to touch base with you guys before I hopped on the mower and churned this up because it is a beautiful day out. I mean, I'm kind of keeping you tucked away here from the wind, but it's just really, really just beautiful, beautiful weather. And, again, unfortunately, that's it. I mean, we're not going crazy into snow or anything like that, but we are going to where the low temperatures are going to be in the 30s at night, and the high temperatures we're only in the 50s. It's normal. I mean, it's normal for this time of year. So that's it for now. We'll see what happens in a couple days here, and maybe we can get Heidi back on the front of this camera. It's so hard. She's been working so long, but she does have a stretch of days that she's going to be off. And again, we were going to go RVing. However, we didn't want to go to anywhere that we have gone before. Heidi did want 2 days off. She actually has stuff planned. She needed 2 of her 5 days off to go do something. So that means we would have only been able to camp maybe 4 nights at the most. And yeah, I mean, as far as travel, if you want to go somewhere that's pretty decent, you know, that's away from your area, you're usually a 2-hour drive, and it just, we started doing the math and it wasn't feasible. So Heidi's birthday's coming up, and hopefully she's had a good birthday by the time you guys have watched this. So we got some plans for that. But yeah, the RV, we'll take it out. It's just not going to be happening you know, in the next few days, which, like I said, it could have, but no. So we'll pick this up later. And look, just look at me, take in the ambiance. I'm out here, it's nice and windy. look at all this. And then the next time you see me, I'm not going to be in shorts, and I'm not going to be in this light jacket. So let's see what that day looks like. 3, 2, 1. Bam! Well, it's not as bad as I thought it was going to be. We had a couple of really cool days, and we had some rain, but a lot has been going on that had nothing to do with our channel. Since the last time I was shooting video there for What You Doing, RV Daydream. As far as the temperatures, they've definitely dropped. Heidi and I did that live chat. If you guys didn't have a chance to watch that, I understand entirely because it was long. It was a long, long, long one. We love the fact you guys tried to hang in there. A lot of you signed on and hung on for as long as you could. I think we might be doing it on a different night, though, and we are going to cut it back. Heidi and I made a conscious decision to make sure our live chats are going to be cut back. So since that last update that was on the beginning of this video, we did go out for Heidi's birthday. She's back at work today. She had her 5 days off. Everything was great. We got to go do some stuff, as some of you heard on the live chat. And yeah, you know, we're just getting ready for winter, basically. And as far as, like I said at the beginning here, it didn't turn out as bad as we thought. Those couple cool days have now went away. Now it's windy out here, but we've been in the 60s, and we're going to be in the 60s for the next couple of days, but then we're in the 50s and then the 40s. So it's definitely getting cooler, and it's going to look different than what we just seen at the beginning of the video. I'll show you. I have already cleaned up all these leaves once. I've mowed over all of them. Not over here, I haven't. Not over there, I haven't. But I have in the backyard, and you can see there's really nothing on the tree now at all. And it's because the wind was so strong, it kind of blew them all over the driveway. But the reason that the leaves aren't cleaned up the way that they should be is the mower deck sitting here. I was going through the leaves a little bit heavier than what I should, and I broke the pulley on this side here, so I got to do a quick repair. I'm gonna have to break out my welder. I'm gonna go ahead and weld that pulley back on so I don't have to go buy anything. The mower, I love the mower. These are one of the best cutting mowers that you can buy. It's just incredible, and it's old. I mean, it's an older mower. I don't even know what year it is, but it's just a really, really good mower. But it's been used, so the deck has been welded a couple times. I didn't do it, but other people have welded the deck, and yeah, oh well. I'm gonna have to jump on this and make another repair. So you can see boxes. That's kind of a common theme inside the house too. we're packing up. We're doing everything we can to get everything boxed up. And we got hold of our daughter. She came over with our grandson. He visited for the day as well as she did, and we handed off some stuff to her. Try to give you an update on our son. He is finally finishing out the sugar beet harvest. One of the things he said was driving his van to the work site. He said, man, the farm roads, the work site roads, he said they beat up his van pretty bad. But he's probably got about another week there, and that's it. And as far as him coming back home, I don't know. We don't know where he's going to go at that point, but just to give you an update, it is finally ending at the sugar beet harvest. And it's funny because they still have flood warnings. I mean, right now as it stands, they still have flood warnings. I still can't believe it. So I need to get working on this deck, weld it, and then I got to jump back on these leaves. And the reason is because we've got rain. Like I said, we've got rain tomorrow, we got rain the next day, about an inch total. I want to take care of things before then. Oh, another update. Looking at the truck, I went ahead and called Valley Truck Outfitters. Again, you guys that have been following along with this understand how important it was for me to get this cap straightened out, and they finally did. They really got it straightened out. This is the, oh, there's some silicone there I'm gonna have to wipe off, but they actually got the window sealed off, from what I can tell so far. Again, whenever the window was installed and replaced, we went on the trip to South Carolina and we got caught in that horrendous rain, and I mean the bed of the truck was wet, and every single time after that, when it rained, the bed of the truck got wet inside, and it was kind of in this corner and along the rail. So I called them up. They said sure, bring it in, you know, after lunch, and they took it apart, and they said, yeah, they found an area that looked like that there was a gap, and he said he sealed it, and to let them know how it did. Well, we had quite a bit of rain for a couple of days. As you guys seen on that live chat, it rained the whole time we were inside the RV, and during the live chat pretty much. So about 4 hours worth of rain. And I checked the bed of the truck after that, and there was nothing. There was nothing moist, wet, anything inside there. So we'll give it a car wash, because you could see I went over to Warren to visit our daughter before she had come over, and yeah, it needs washed again. We did put in the slides because of all the rain and the high wind that we were having those days. Again, I don't want to keep on referring to it, but if you guys were watching our live chat, I mean, the wind was really whipping, and I mean, it was moving the RV. It was pretty wild, and I think it's because the wind was coming from that direction this way. We don't normally get wind that comes that way. So anyways, we put in the slides after we got done with the live chat, and I got to mow around this. I pretty much have to mow the whole yard. I'm going to do the leaves again. Let me move this thing. I just kind of threw it here. It's serving a purpose, but yeah, I used to have a leaf blower for years, and then I just didn't care anymore. Is that such a bad thing? It's crazy how much stuff I used to have. And you know, you guys that are RVers, especially guys that are traveling around all the time, you know how you gear yourself up for full-time RVing. You know, you want to make sure that you have the right tools. You want to make sure you have the right accessories. There's a lot of little gadgets and stuff that you can buy for your RV, and we have a tendency to do that. We don't necessarily want to, but we do. And we do the same thing for the house. I mean, when we first moved into this house, you know, I had all this garage space, so my tool and collection got bigger. My tools in general, as far as big tools, I bought tools that I never had in the past. And of course I was running a business out of here, so I had to buy tools for that. And the same with the house, you know, you buy all kinds of stuff to fill your house. Well, now we got to get rid of all that stuff, and there's a lot of it. There's definitely a lot of it. So let me go ahead and get to work, see if I can get this lawn done. All the leaves are taken care of. I really don't think I have any, you know, just you can see a little bit there, but our problem is whenever we have storms that blow in off of like that yard back there, and all the leaves come over here, and then this tree here still has leaves on it. So if the storms come in this way, we get it, obviously. But everything's taken care of, except for this tree here. It's still got leaves on it. And quite frankly, I don't care. I think that once the leaves fall, if I have to mow the grass again, I might. But I don't really care. Honestly, what you're supposed to do is let the leaves stay where they're at. I do mulch them up and leave them in the ground, but I mean, that's the way trees protect themselves from the winter, is of course they blanket their roots with their leaves to keep moisture and keep from freezing, that kind of thing. So anyways, that's taken care of. And as far as the repair on the mower, it brings up a point as far as RVing that I know that I'm still going to have a problem with, and that is giving up stuff. Not so much the mower, but I just came in here and dug through here and found the washer that I needed. I mean, that's something that, I'm not going to carry all these washers with me and all these nuts and bolts and screws. I mean, these things, I've had all this stuff for so long. You can see here. I mean, look at this. I've got pretty much everything you can imagine, and all this is filled with screws and nuts and bolts. There's stuff here, screws, nuts, bolts. I've used to sort this stuff. What I would do is use product, and if I had leftover bolts or I had a project that I scrapped out something, I would keep the nuts and bolts and I'd just throw them all in one container, and then I would sort through them. And then of course I had nuts and bolts and fittings back here too. And I also have that filled with a bunch of supplies, I guess you can call them. So what I did was, it just seems odd. You guys would have had to seen, when I had a shop here. If you look at my old videos on my other channel, you'll see, I had the lift table here. And I mean, there was times I had this place filled with mowers and mopeds. And I actually had this side of the garage filled with riding mowers. And I had, which I don't think I captured that on film or on tape. I actually had in the turnaround a whole bunch of mowers that had a tarp on them, and then over here I had sort of I don't know what you want to call it, some sort of a 12 by 20 canopy looking thing that had a bunch of riding mowers in it. And I'll tell you, I had quite the business going on here for a while, and man, it was nice. I mean, there was some serious money rolling through here. It just was good. It was just a good business for this area, especially during that time. The economy wasn't very good. Nobody could afford a new one. All the shops were charging outrageous prices for repairs. So, and I was very fast. I do repairs. Okay, let me rephrase that. I used to do repairs really fast, and I would have said I still do repairs really fast. However, just making that repair that I did on the mower, I was slacking there. I had that deck off 3 times, well, 2 times today, but 3 times total to make a simple repair. And it was a fix. It's a quick fix, but it'll last, I don't know. It'll probably last all next summer too if I wanted it to. I had a bearing issue that was going on, and I just spaced it out. It works now. But whenever we go full-time RVing, hopefully I don't need any of that stuff to make repairs. That was kind of the reason that we got into a newer truck and a newer RV. Not that they're not going to need repaired. That's the exact opposite of what I think. I think that they're going to need repaired just as much as the old stuff. However, the fact that it's new, I can pretty much go and buy a lot of the stuff that I need for the RV and what I need for the truck. On that old trailer, I fabricated quite a bit of it, as far as when I made repairs. And my old truck, same thing. I mean, there was stuff that I basically engineered and put on there that, you just couldn't buy. You just can't buy it for it. Or if you could, it was too expensive to put on there. So I'm going to miss having all these supplies laying around. Now, there is some thought that if I give a lot of this stuff to like my son-in-law, if I need it, I know where it's at. But again, this is something that, I'm not going to drive all the way back to Ohio to make a repair because he has, some product. I don't know. It's just a weird feeling. I don't know if anybody else is in the same boat as me, having done repairs, all their lives. I guess it would be kind of like if you are a computer repair technician, and you have all this computer repair stuff, all these scopes, all these meters, all of these diagnostic tools, all these hard drives, all of these motherboards, stuff like that. There's only so much you can carry with you if you go full-time on the road in your RV. So now if your laptop breaks down, the first thing you're going to do, same thing I do, is, man, I wish I had whatever that I'm missing now. So it's going to feel weird. That's kind of why I'm a parts hoarder and nuts and bolts hoarder. Every time I need a repair done, I usually should be able to find it in the garage here. Very rarely do I have to go buy something to fix it. And the more that I repaired, the more I had available. Of course, that's not the case anymore. And I've got to wrap my head around that, thinking that I don't need all my tools. I don't need all these parts. And if I need to do a repair, hopefully it's something simple, and I don't say, oh man, if I only had my welder with me, I could just hit it here and hit it there. I mean, just like, even though these RVs have big polypropylene tanks on them for holding tanks, I've got a plastic welder in there, and I've welded tanks in the past. I've welded our Apache pop-up, the holding tank in it. And I'm not bringing that plastic welder with me. It doesn't make any sense. Just in case it needs it. Hopefully we don't, but it's a possibility. And I could just keep on going on with 4 examples, but looks like the clouds are starting to move in, and like I said, it's going to rain for the next couple days. Even so, I think I might go wash the truck because it's got a lot of road spray on it. We went through some construction, and I think that it might have been some fresh concrete or something. Not like you think, you see on TV the dog walking through the concrete making footprints, but the powder, the white chalky powder that's left over, I think that's what's all over the side of this thing. I mean, it just looks dirty. It's not adhered to it or anything. All right, I rambled on enough, and I think that should be good enough for an update. We'll pick this up later. Heidi and I have been crunching numbers just to make you guys' mouth water a little bit, as far as if you're interested in it. We've been crunching numbers as far as if Heidi could just quit her job like tomorrow, and with the time that she has off, we can work on the house for the next couple of months and get it to where it's ready to sell. It's something that we're thinking about, that's for sure. And I'm telling you that well, let me just say, we could do it. We could do it. I could have her quit. But there are some benefits to her still being there. For example, she gets 4 weeks paid vacation right after January 1st. So for the next couple of months, should she, quit her job and lose out on that 4 weeks paid vacation that she could take next year? I mean, it's hard to say. Everything's fluid. I keep on saying that. Everything's fluid. Okay, that's enough of me rambling, and I'm just going to enjoy the rest of the warm day, or relatively warm day. As always, guys, I hope to see you out there. Bye.